They always say, like, if you love what you're doing, it's not considered work. I really love what I'm doing.
I'm so happy we got to do this.
I know, me too.
It's great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
You're someone that, like I said, is always on the go, super active, is very much in the now. There's so many layers that have brought us to the now that are so important. When I started my career, you were the mouthpiece for some major people. Like, we were talking about Google, we were talking about when Obama came to Egypt. How did you get into all this?
You know, I always loved communications. When I was in college, I interned at a news station. And that's when I got the bug for communications. Love to watch the news, love to see how stories are told, love to see how people kind of unpack and share things widely. Are they doing it well? Are they doing it poorly? So I worked for a PR firm called Weber Shandwick. I was like an intern, moved into an account executive. When I moved to Egypt in 1997, I needed a job. I didn't have a job. But at that time, you either worked for the P&G, the Unilever, the Coca-Cola, like the multinational American companies, or you worked for a local family. Ya Suidi, Ya Suiris, Ya Mansour. Those were the big families. I ended up working for Naguib. I joined his company as an office manager, which was, I thought, oh, I'm like educated, I have a master's degree, I shouldn't be an office manager, but it was the best job ever. And it taught me...
Especially such an eclectic character that has like done so many different things and is...
Yeah, Naguib is a school, You go to Naguib to learn and to really, you have to work crazy hours, you have to put heart and hustle into everything you do. But I started, in the beginning of my career in Egypt working for him. I spent time working for Naguib, and then I ended up starting my own company in 2004. And I ended up advising a lot of U.S. companies that wanted to come into the Middle East. That's how I got to work with the U.S. State Department. They have their communications arm is really the public diplomacy. Obama did his first speech globally when he became president. He came to Egypt. I ended up supporting the team that was drafting and helping him with the speech, giving them insights about the Egyptian market and the people and how things will be perceived to make sure that when they landed, it landed well. So that was sort of my role, is helping them understand the region, understand Egypt.
How much did that teach you?
I mean, it's an incredible process, right? To work with the White House is an incredible process about how they do communications. I ended up working with the Egyptian government, and one of the first things I recommended to them to do was to do daily press briefings, to communicate. Like a government should, like a company, have a communication strategy. And so it was exciting because governments, like companies, have to have proactive communications to build trust, to raise awareness. I joined Google the day the Arab Spring erupted in Egypt on January 25th, 2011. Wow. Which was a big, learning ground about a lot of things. Was really, passionate about helping Egypt during that time, and so I ended up doing work for Google. I stayed at Google for almost 4 years, left Google, joined Netflix, not as an employee but as a consultant, and for 5 years helping them launch in the region, build their communication strategy, and doing really, really well.
How different was it working here than in the US? Because like you said, schools, definitely.
It was different. I mean, it was a different way of thinking and way of thought. Like here, I learned very quickly when I moved here that all business is personal. Spend time getting to know them, ask about their families, have tea, build a relationship, and then do business. In the US, it's very much just do business, and so the mentality is much different.
You work with, as I said earlier, very strong personalities, and some of the personalities, as well as even relatable to yourself, is the Arab woman. A lot of people, or most people, think that the Middle East is blended into one border, but she is different.
100%.
She is different everywhere. She's a force. She's such a force. What is your take on the Arab woman and where she is today in her journey?
I think the definition of the Arab woman in the Middle East has evolved, right? Progressive, innovative.
But she's not only in the Middle East, right?
Entrepreneur.
You're in the States.
Yep.
You're an Arab woman.
Yep.
I mean, she's repping us everywhere.
Everywhere. And, we don't, when people used to always ask me the question, like in the Middle East, like, who's your mentor? Because who did we really look up to? Like, it was like, back in the day, it was like the first lady was the most powerful position in our culture. So automatically it was the first lady of any country or nation, a Queen Rania or what, you know? And I was like, no, now that's changed. It's the entrepreneur. It's the person who built the fashion brand. It's the person who's environmentalist. It's the marathon runner. It's the...
It's a woman going to space.
It's a woman going to space. We have the Egyptians, Sabri. Like, it's everybody. And everybody can be an empowering figure in their field. And I think now, because of social media and because we have the internet, we're understanding these stories. We're being more connected to them. We're understanding the struggles of being the woman in the Arab world, dealing with your family, dealing with work, wanting to have a career, just like any other country in the world. We're more alike than we are different. And I think that the Arab woman is inspiring. She's dealing with a lot. We live in a neighborhood that's not the easiest to live in. Other cultures don't have the struggles that people in the Middle East have faced. Every neighboring country is having some sort of struggle, and we're rising regardless. And I think that just speaks to their perseverance, their power. And you know, I was just at the Forbes Women event with for the Arab women in Abu Dhabi, and it was just the stories of the people that were attending there that just are so inspiring that I was just like, can't wait to tell more of their stories and meet more of them.
Talk to me about Gary Vee.
Gary Vee is, so I've been working for Gary for a little over 6 years, like 6.5 years. And he is the kindest, softest, gentle person. I mean, on Instagram, everyone thinks he's very loud, high energy. He is high energy, but like when you get in a setting with him, you're the only person in the room. And Gary's one of the leading thought leaders in culture. The other thing Gary has really been a proponent and a loud speaker about is empathy and different types of leadership in the workplace. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be yelling at someone to be an effective leader. You don't have to be only focused on results. You should focus on the person. Mm-hmm. So kindness, empathy. So I've learned so much from him about leadership, more than the digital marketing and the brand stuff. And I feel like those are the life skills that people need, that emotional intelligence.
How do you take all these lessons and implement them in an entity like yours, like digital and savvy? Like,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like I learned a ton from Naguib. I worked a lot with Mudassir at Kareem. I worked with some work for Deepak Chopra, who's like a very calm and like
holistic.
Gary and Deepak, I would sometimes have calls back to back with them, and I'm like, he's high energy, and Deepak just brings my breath down, and he's like, okay, let's talk slowly. He just talks so slow. It's really like taking to heart how you build a good culture for your team. Mm-hmm. So we always make sure that we high five each other, that we're giving each other pats on the back, that we're taking time to appreciate each other. We're taking time to say, I appreciate you or I value you. Like, just articulating, like thanking people and making sure that people have time to do what they need to do. I also give my team a lot of autonomy and freedom. It's okay if they make a mistake, but just come to me so we can figure out how to fix it together.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so happy you came. If you make a mistake, apologize. Relationships take time. Friendships take effort. It's so exciting, and you want to be present with what's in the world. Why not absorb all of it and take it all in?